Alright guys, welcome back to another video. As you can see, SMCI is having an absolute god candle here and it is up about 24% today. I checked last night and it was up around 27% for the day. So absolutely amazing. Why do I care about this? Because we got assigned a bunch of contracts last week. On Friday, we sold a put at 25 right here at this level. And this is where we got assigned our shares at. So I've owned SMCI for 2 days now and we are up 25% basically on the shares. I can give you an exact amount here. So from cost basis to here is roughly 27% in profit. Absolutely phenomenal to the high here. So I want to break this down for you guys and I'm going to show you how exactly I took this trade, why I took this trade, more from a technical perspective, not so much fundamental, but you guys have seen me do this now with Apple. Absolutely textbook, basically bottom tick the market here all the way to these highs. You guys have seen me do this with Meta as well, shares from here to here. And now Dell obviously was a huge one, but you know, SMCI is just the next one in the litter. So let's break it down. Let's go through everything. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram already at CYRN, Siren, I post all these trades literally for free on Monday. I tell you guys exactly what's going on throughout the week and what my plans are moving forward. So without further ado, let's jump into the breakdown. So overall, SMCI is down very, very big from its all-time highs. So this is the first thing here. With SMCI peaking around 62, 66, you can see like these massive swings here. And overall, 122 as the highest way back in 2024. Now trading around the $30 level. This is absolutely insane. So this stock has been beaten down. And one thing I will say is this is something that you have to have strong fundamentals on. And while I do preach this strategy is 100% win rate, it only happens because my stock picks are so good. And that's what you guys have to remember. If you guys are trading this strategy, you have to have good picks. And this is why I don't go too much into fundamentals, because what I might interpret as something good, you guys might not interpret as the same. So this is why I always say do your own research. None of this is ever financial advice. You know, go actually get out there, do your research on the stock before running, you know, my style of strategy. But the biggest thing here is actually going to be the catalyst for this as to why we, you know, had this absolute god candle. You see Supermicro shares soar 18% as AI server orders top around $60 billion. So this is awesome from a catalyst perspective. This is exactly what we needed to move that needle. Guys, take a read, go see actually, why this actually happened. Overall, this was the catalyst that gave us the god candle, which is great. After trading way off its all-time highs, this is very, very good news. Now, overall, SMCI off this big high right here, the highest high, I would say, down to our share prices, is about 50%. So buying it up here, I am so sorry because, you're lost 50% of your value to where we were assigned the shares at. But getting into the actual setup itself is going to be from right here all the way down. So first of all, how did we actually get into this trade? So from a technical perspective, I can see us making a swing high, a swing low, a swing high, and a swing low. So this is right here actually where I was assigned the shares. I'm going to leave this right here so you guys can have a reference point. So as per my strategy, I'm not going to break it down completely. There are many other videos on my channel breaking it down in depth. So first thing I want to see is where's the start of the week right here. As you can see, we had a gap down at the start of the week, but from the start of the week to the strike price, it was about 12% from the start of the week where we were trading to where my strike price was. So this is me saying SMCI has to drop 12% in 1 week's time for me to be assigned these shares. Nothing too complicated about that. That is just me saying I only want this stock if we are getting it at a big discount. That's the first thing. If I'm not getting the stock at a massive discount, I don't care to get it anyways. Another example of that would be on IREN, where I was assigned at like a 20% discount on the share. So phenomenal. But overall, next thing I'm going to do is measure out from the most recent high down to the low. So I like to be within 10 to 15% off the most recent high. This gives me a good understanding of, where could my support level be? Where would a discount price be? Where could we be putting in that higher low situation? So obviously I want to see 10 to 15% from here. And then obviously from the start of the week, which is around here, this is where I would want to see at least a 5 to 10% discount from that current price to where my strike price is for the option that I am selling. So obviously we got that. And the biggest thing here is going to be this support level. I had my put the strike price right above this support level. Now this is awesome because while I'm right above it, I could have sold it a little bit lower to get it right at the support, but for me, I'm still aiming for that 0.6 to 0.8% premium gain on the capital that I'm putting up. So I probably sold it right at 25 because it gave me a little bit more juice, knowing that there's a support level right below me. So that is a very key thing. I'm only putting my strike at or in between two support levels. In this case, we weren't trading above it, so this is the only support level that I had as a reference point. And a very key thing from a technical perspective here is this 200-day SMA. We are trading well below it. So for me, this is where the fundamentals have to make even more sense, because if we are trading below the 200-day SMA, that means that bullish trend is no longer intact. If we're trading above it, that means that higher time frame bullish trend is intact, which is great. That's an extra layer of confirmation. But in this case, we were trading below it. So my fundamentals were a lot more rock solid in this situation. Now, recapping that, 10 to 15% off the most recent high, at least 5 to 10% off where we started at the start of the week, and tapping into a key level of support. Now, this is all well and dandy, but I'm not anticipating this catalyst. This is something where if SMCI did continue to drop, I would just continuously sell my calls until we were back above my cost basis. So this catalyst came in at the perfect time because we were assigned these shares on Friday. So right here, you can see this is Friday. So we were trading a couple percent below, at its peak about 6.5% below our strike price. And for me, 6% isn't even that bad. We've sustained way more drawdown on this channel as I've gone into detail in other videos. But after that, you can see that little bit of recovery, and you can see here on Tuesday, so yesterday, this is when we had this massive God candle from bottom to top. This is 30% candle. So that is absolutely phenomenal. And for reference, I just happened to hop off the charts, at the end of the day, didn't really think of it, was, out just doing my thing, came home and I noticed that SMCI was up like 20% in after hours trading, which I thought was hilarious. So this is obviously why we were making this video. So overall, the craziest part about this is, like I said, I've owned these shares for legitimately 2 days. So here's where I got assigned. Oh, I think I should put the assignment wrong here. This is Friday. So this is where I was assigned the shares on Friday. So literally Monday, Tuesday, today's Wednesday when I'm recording this. So by the time Friday rolls around and the option expires, these shares will be called away for a profit. Like I said, I call all of these trades out on my Instagram literally for free every single Monday. Just do it for the love of the game. My strategy is so simple and boring, but it nets me, that beautiful 3 to 5% monthly. And this is just another amazing case of being positioned before the hype. And that is the core of my strategy. Nobody is looking at SMCI when we are literally crashing for a week straight without a even minor pullback. This crashed 26% from here to here, with this being like the only minor pullback we had. Again, we put in a low, put in a lower high, and then made a lower low down to here. Nobody is looking at this. Just from this level right here, from this high to this low, is a 36% drop. And this is what I mean. While everybody else sees the chart as, oh my God, this is so ugly, I don't like looking at it, this is not something I want to buy, this is where I start smelling opportunity. This is where I'm saying, you know what? This is where a good level where I could own it at. Then, you check your fundamentals, everything here, even our analyst rating being at 36% and trading at 23. This is exactly where I'm paying attention, where I'm saying, we are so far off that amount, right? That this is already at a discount. I can get this at a huge discount, 12% from opening price of the week to where my strike price was. And there is so much upside. Even if I was assigned here, I wanted to exit at the analyst rating of 36. That's here. That's about a 44% gain, not even including the almost 30% gain that we have from here to here. So guys, the biggest thing here is positioning yourself before the hype, because this is where I'm entered in. This is where we're absolutely ripping. I'm probably put proof of trade at the start of the video to actually prove to you that we were in this trade. And I'm a big advocate for proof. You know, I always post my trade receipts. I always post that it is a live account. I always show proof of that. And that is something I want to kind of get across to you guys, because I can't stand these prop firm demons anymore, you know, trying to rinse you guys for, you know, buy my course. And they're just, you know, trying to teach you to get 10, 20K months on prop firms when you can be doing something even more consistent like this. So this is my biggest thing for me. You know, position yourself before the high, because after we ripped and everyone saw this God candle, I'm sure everyone bought in this morning. You're probably up, but look how high your cost basis is compared to mine. This is exactly my whole strategy. I like positioning myself when the chart looks ugly, when I'm seeing that something, when I see something that someone else might not see, you know, when the mass majority of retail traders aren't paying attention. This is where I'm starting to load up on shares. Another example, obviously, would be this IREN play. Like, I was loading up on shares. You know, this is where our swing trade is, that we are in profit now, which is phenomenal. I'm very happy about that. But I like these when nobody is paying attention. Apple as well would be the best example, because we literally bottom ticked this. Apple was down all down here. This is where we bought at the support level. We had a put right here. Entered a swing trade, bang, you know, flew and took profit at the all-time highs. And that's it, man. You're just positioning yourself with a simple system while nobody else is paying attention. And then obviously when it's time to reap those rewards, you are the first person in line. And that's the way I like playing this. Obviously, your stock choice matters the most. If you're choosing stocks that, you know, aren't fundamentally sound, you're going to have a very rough time doing this. You're going to be trapped in a lot of trades. So, you know, very, very important that you guys understand that your stock selection matters the most. Yeah, but overall, stellar, up about 25% in literally 2 days of holding these shares. You can't ask for anything more, you know, like, that's really it. This is a swing trader's dream, I guess. But if you guys have any questions, make sure to leave a comment. You're free to DM me on Instagram. I'm happy to just go through stuff with you guys. I literally don't even sell a course or a community, so I just do this for the love of the game. So happy to explain any questions that you guys have, answer any questions that you guys have. But if you found this video helpful, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, go follow my Instagram, where I post literally all of these for free. And with that, we'll see you guys in the next one.